So this is where the School of Life was born, in the sense of, why weren't we taught how to think when we were children? We have schools for everything in life, but we have no schools on how to think. And this is where my journey started. Yeah, and what I say to everybody when I meet them, they've come to me for comorbidities, all kinds of different reasons. I say, I am going to teach you how to be happy. So tonight I'm going to share a little bit of this with you and teach you some things of how I believe you can be happy. And to obviously, it all begins in your head. Yeah, your mind. Our problems between our 2 ears. Okay. And we haven't learned to be master over our minds. We've been learned to be a slave. So how I started my business, I had 4 jobs. Because this sort of thing, I'm not a psychologist, so you don't get referred for medical aid. You've got to build up word of mouth. And I became resourceful. So I always say to my clients, I think in life, we only need 2 things. We need to be resourceful, where we always make a plan, and we need to be faithful. So faithful in God and God's promises. If you're resourceful and if you're faithful, okay, you won't have fear, because the opposite of fear is faith. You'll always make a plan, and if you believe in God's promises, you'll be able to move forward. So the difference between resources and resourcefulness is your resources is time, money, technology, contacts, experience, management. Being resourceful is creativity, determination, love, care, curiosity, passion, and resolve. So being resourceful is the ability to find quick and clever ways of overcoming difficulties. Resourcefulness is a skill. And this is where the skills come in to bring the mindset into action. There's not a more useful or important trait to possess in resourcefulness in the pursuit of success. Resourcefulness is a mindset. With a resourceful mindset, you're driven to find a way. So I base my coaching on a story. And I'm sure some of you have heard the story, but it's a very wise old man, and he's talking to his grandson. And he says to his grandson, he says, you know, my boy, inside every single human being, there's a battle going on. And the battle is between 2 wolves. And the little grandson looks at his grandfather. He says, Grandfather, what do you mean? He says, well, the first wolf, the dark wolf, is the human ego. It's anger, envy, jealousy, regret, sorrow, greed, self-pity, hatred, bitterness, resentment, fear. And inside all of us is divine light. Love, joy, peace, benevolence, compassion, faith, truth, generosity. And the little grandson looks at his grandfather. He says, Grandfather, which wolf wins? And the old man simply replied, whichever wolf you feed. So the process of the coaching is to feed your light wolf. Because the rule in life, whatever you focus on expands. So whatever you're going to put your energy, where your attention goes, energy flows. So it's all about taking control of your mental mindset. Okay, your mental energy. Where is it? Where's your attention? Okay, because what we're all looking for, no matter what we're doing, we're looking for happiness. And we spend our lives chasing. So if I get a new job, if I get a new boyfriend, if I have a holiday overseas, whatever we're doing, we're looking for happiness. And then we get it, we have moments of it, and we want more. But we're living there. We're not living in the present moment, or our attention's in the past. Our attention, we haven't learned to train our attention in the present. And the happiest of people have learned to be present. So I'm going to share with you how to develop and maintain a positive mindset. As in all the hours I've done, this is what it boils down to. Okay. So all of you think about something that you're negative or unhappy about. Okay. Hold it in your mind. Anything that you're negative or unhappy about. Okay. Your focus of attention will be on what you can't do and what you don't have. Every time you're unhappy, your focus of attention is thinking what I can't do and what I don't have. Those thoughts create feelings. And the feelings is you're unhappy and you're feeding that dark wolf again. The behavior is you're disempowered, you're unresourceful, and you're demotivated. So in order to develop a positive resourceful, happy mindset. We learn to focus our attention only on what we can do and do have. And if you saw my logo, the School of Life's logo, it says it can do have. We either can do have coaches. And it's not like a little pom-pom thing. Okay, it's just we focus our attention because we have time in life and we have focus. And if we can learn to focus our attention on what we can do and do have, we are happy and positive. And then we are empowered, resourceful, and motivated. So this we learn, all these skills. So what I teach, we life skills coaches. We're very practical, okay? And it can be taught like we've learned everything else. Everything we've learned in our lives, we've learned through 4 stages. So I'm sure some of you are aware of that. But the 4 stages of learning is something we all go through to learn anything. So the first stage of learning is unconscious incompetence. It's when you don't know that you don't, what you don't know. So maybe you didn't know there were 4 stages to learning. This is a stage of simply not knowing or ignorance. Second stage of learning is unconscious competence. It's now you know these 4 stages of learning, but you have no idea, okay, how to put it into practice. Third stage of learning is conscious competence. So you know how to work this. You start practicing. Yes, I get it right. If you think about driving a car, it's the same thing. You climbed and you didn't know anything. Then unconscious incompetence. Then it came unconscious competence. You were nervous and you knew what to do, but you didn't really know how to do it. Conscious competence, you start driving, but you're very mindful and very conscious and very deliberate in driving. And then before you know it, you get to the with practice. Okay, so repetition is the mother of skill. Repeat, repeat, repeat. You get to the last stage of learning, and the last stage of learning is unconscious competence. It's where it's automatically imprinted in your subconscious mind. You don't need to think about it, you recall it immediately. And that's where we want to get to. Like if I asked you what is 5 plus 5, you probably won't even have to think about it and you'll say 10. It's exactly the same with these life skills of how to think in a helpful way. So you're going along life, something happens, you dip, but immediately you have the skills and tools to pull yourself out and go. Okay. So if I set the framework of what I believe it is, we're born, we die. We're born with nothing, we die with nothing. We're born alone in our heads, we die alone in our heads. So the great question is, what is this journey all about? From start to finish. And some people know the answer, or they think they know the answer, or they'd like to know the answer. But a lot of people really struggle with this question. And it is a deep question. So what I believe in my mindset is that we're here to learn and grow and become better. And as a Christian, I believe I'm here to learn and grow and become more Christ-like. Because we always want to be better. We never want to be bad. And that pushes us to move forward. So progress equals happiness. If you're not progressing, you're not happy. So everything in life is about learning and growing. We're spiritual beings having a learning experience. So how do we learn? Okay, so this journey in my mind is between me and God. Okay, everybody who comes into my life is my teacher. They've come to teach me about myself. And the people, and I talk from a lot of life experience, okay, the people who come into your life who are the people who hurt you the most, the people who want to destroy you, the people who have damaged you, they are your soulmates. They've come to teach you how much you need to learn, how much you need to know. And I really do talk from experience when I say that. So I see everybody as my teacher. I'm here to learn and grow and become better. So somebody comes into my life and this person is meant to teach me tolerance. Now my tolerance is this. This person comes into my life to teach me tolerance like this. But because I don't see that person as a teacher, I see that person as a problem. I don't learn this. And then what happens? Somebody else comes into my life to teach me tolerance like this. And until I can actually see it, This is a teacher. This is my gift to teach me this. And I learn what I need to. I then move to the next part of my life, because that's exactly how much tolerance I need to get to that part of my life. So this is a mindset I teach. This is a mindset that serves me very well. And it is a mindset that keeps me happy. And happiness is all about my focus. Happiness is always thinking what I do have and what I can do. So a negative person will spend their time dwelling and thinking about problems. 10% of the time in the problem, 90% of the time in the solution. We look for solutions. So positive thinking isn't refusing to accept reality, because reality is reality. Positive thinking is refusing to dwell in it. So we don't dwell in it. It doesn't serve us. 10% of the time in the problem. Right now, let's look for solutions. Okay. A negative person uses self-critical self-talk. We beat ourselves up. We talk to ourselves badly. You're stupid, you're useless, you'll never amount to anything. Okay. Why? Why do we do that? Why do we beat ourselves up? Are we hoping we're going to change? Are we hoping we're going to feel so bad about it and use fear as a motivator that we're going to change? And sometimes it works, but seldom. It's only short term. Okay, we've just been conditioned to believe that that will make us better, but it doesn't. Self-compassionate self-talk is what we need to say to ourselves. We need to be our own best friend in our head. We need to be kind and loving and encourage ourselves like we would our children or with our parents. And it's very difficult for some people because they find it difficult to accept themselves. And the first process in the first step in the process to change is acceptance. So that's all part of having your healthy self-esteem, is getting to that place of accepting and then using that energy to move forward. Okay. If you don't do this, you will become bitter. You will not become better. You will, and I'm sure you know people who are bitter. Why? They see things happening to them. They don't see things happening for them. And I've trained over almost 30 coaches, and they've got an incredible life story. A lot of them have gone through crazy, crazy things, but their mess, like mine, has become a message. Their trials become a testimony. Their junk becomes jewels. Okay. The stronger the message, you've lived through it, you understand it. Because we're here to learn empathy. We're here to learn unconditional love. And this is what all these hard lessons teach us. So I don't see things as failure. I see things as lessons and feedback. Everything is a learning. What can it teach me? Okay, I don't like the lessons. Okay, and the time it's very uncomfortable. But personal growth is uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, you're not growing. So the more uncomfortable you are, the more you're going to grow. You're going to learn and evolve. Okay. We spend a lot of the time thinking what we don't have. We don't spend time thinking what we do have. So you find little communities all over the world, and they have nothing, but they're happy. They're content. Why? Their focus of attention isn't on what they can't do. Their focus of attention isn't on what they don't have. They don't know that. They only know what they have. They only know what they can do. And they're content and they're happy. So we learn gratitude. Gratitude, developing an attitude of gratitude will keep you happy, because that's what will give you perspective. So I have a lot of clients who come to me and they say they bring their St. Peter's child or St. John's boy, and they 16-year-old, and they say, you know, Tracey, he's just so ungrateful. He doesn't know how lucky he is. We struggle so much, and that's why he is at the schools that he is, because of what we've given up. And he's just an ungrateful child. And I said, you know what, you guys are the problem, not your son. So I say to the kids, I say, so have you ever gone to bed hungry? Nope. Have you ever gone to school without shoes and socks? Nope. Have you ever gone to school without school lunch? Nope. So how can you expect him to be grateful? Because how we experience in life is we need perspective. We need opposites. So we don't know what hot is unless we've had cold. We don't know what hate is unless we've had love. And there's degrees of it. So somebody's been to the North Pole and somebody's been to the desert. Their experience of hot and cold is very different to mine. Mine's like that. So in order to understand gratitude to happiness, which is a do have, you need to think about the opposite. So I'll say to somebody, okay, so imagine tomorrow morning you wake up and mom's no longer here. Oh, I don't want to think about it. So unless you actually do, you're not going to appreciate what you have. And we don't like thinking. It makes us uncomfortable. But that is what will teach us gratitude. That is what it will teach us happiness, is being uncomfortable. So we learn to be grateful. We practice gratitude every day. And how we practice gratitude every day is we find one thing to be grateful for, and it can't be the same as the day before. And then we spend that day thinking about what we have. So we learn to cultivate this do have, can do mindset. A negative person will also spend their time thinking about, I have to get up and I have to go to work. And I'm sure lots of you say that all the time. I have to bath, I have to cook food, I have to feed the dogs, I have to clean the house, have to. Okay. And when we say we have to, we're making a victim statement. To say I have to is a lie. No one forces an adult to get up and do anything. And when we say I have to, we're then going to be angry and want to punish whomever we see as forcing us to do something we don't want to do. And that's not the truth. The truth is, I choose to. I choose to get up and I choose to go to work because I choose to not have the consequences of not working. I choose to eat healthy because I choose to not have the consequences of not eating healthy. Everything is a choice. So we either choose to choose or we choose not to choose. But remember, just by saying I choose to, you're acknowledging an act of self-love and you're empowering yourself. We use positive affirmations and formations, which is a skill, and we put positive coping thoughts in our mind. And this is just a touch on how we start this mindset, but there you have it there, just by using one or two things. One of you remembering, just you remembering, always, no matter what happens, start saying to yourself what I can do, what I don't have. Okay, that in itself will change everything for you. So every time you're unhappy, no, you're thinking what you can't do. You know, you're thinking what you don't have. Change it around. Say to yourself, what can I do? What do I have? Become the can do, do have people. And I promise you, your happiness will increase daily. Thank you, Carol.